Good afternoon, everyone. So last day we were discussing about the IT governance mechanism. So and we also told you that I'll be discussing about the policy life cycle today. So here we'll be first studying. I'll get a bit revision of the COVID, which like COVID, what we studied in the previous module, previous chapter, where what we studied, and then we'll go for the policy life cycle module. So first coming to purpose and scope of policies and procedure. So what something in an organization we have a strategy document. Okay, so strategy document basically it will reflect the management's view. Like we have, I think you people have studied software engineering. In software engineering, we have something a software requirement specification document of the SRS document. What we do, what is mentioned here, where all the requirements of the customers and the understanding of the developers are mentioned there, and based on that diagrams are made, and if they agree, the customers are okay with it, then we go for the development of the project. Okay, that is like the designers will give their document to the coders or the software developers, and based on the design they will develop the code. So this strategy document similarly like for the SRS, they will it will be formed, it will basically reflect the organization goal. Okay, so anyone like from outside, if anyone external from the organization, like who is not working in the organization, if they want to get an idea of what is going on in the organization, what are the policies and standards used by the organization, if they go through this document, strategy document, they will understand it. So that is why we prepare strategy document is prepared. Okay, so these policy documents are as good as the management. So you can think of the all the guidelines manage. Suppose you are new to a company, you join the company. So you like being at the lower level. So it's not having. If you want to understand what are the views of the management, so if you go to through this document, you manual, you will understand it, right? So that is known as the strategy document. Now, why the policies are required? So something before I going to the like policy, we have something known as the we have a law of the land basically, which means like all the governance rules and policies of the company will be maintained in the document. Now for that purpose, like policies are required to cover the aspect of the internal control of the system, so that we understand that a company is following the legal and the business requirements. So every company has, every like small or big company, if you are working in legally or like they must have some policy, they must follow certain policies. Every company, every organization must maintain the business requirement. Okay, some and if they don't adhere to the government rules and the policies, that obviously that won't be like good enough in the long run. So what are these policies and procedures that they that how activities are basically performed in any area? What are the like? Suppose we have different areas in an organization, right? So like we have IT team, we have management team. So if we know what are the rules to be followed, suppose for IT team also, what are the suppose if you think of the internet, then you can think like what are the sites they can open. So that must be restricted. What are the things they can do? Whom they can concern, all things like all the guidelines should be mentioned, right? And now the last point, so basically a framework that allows policies and procedures of a company to be structured in a logical manner is called the policy framework. So if you have something, a framework is there, uh, that is like in a structural manner, you are like everything like systematically is there. All the policies are working on upon it on a systematic manner in some framework. So that kind of framework is known as the policy framework. So okay, next we'll have basically an introduction to COVID. So in the COVID part, we know it stands for the control objective for information and related technology. So basically, it will concentrate on the control part. So it will also control the policies rather than on the execution. So you can think of it as a theoretical aspect. So basically, it's a set of the practices for the domain and the process framework that enables optimization of IT investments and ensures service delivery. So in the previous chapters also we know that COVID is basically nothing but a standard that we follow for the IT investments. So it will for IT investments, which will ensure that we have the quality service delivery. So now it serves both for internal and external stakeholders. Now, what does that mean? Means one who have an interest in generating value for the IT investments or the sponsor. It will be helpful for them also, and stakeholders who provide services uh, that in to provide services, maybe a product or service. So it may be helpful for them also. Now, this is just a brief revision of the last part. Okay. Then we have the benefits of COVID. So these are the benefits. Basically, it will ensure business focus. Obviously, if you have such a standard which will ensure the IT investment, so you understand like where are your investments are going and everything. So you have this business focus is there. Then provides a view of IT that is understandable to the understandable to the business managers. Then highly process oriented with clear accountability for each activity, artifact, product, or service. Then it complies with wide scale acceptance across the world because COVID is such a standard which is or which is followed by most of the organization, or not only in a single organization but over the world. Okay, no, it's not about. And I think now COVID, we before we have COVID versions are there. Okay, various version is there. Like we have for our operating systems, various versions are there. Similarly, for the standards also, various versions are kept on coming. So we are, I think, in the fifth version now, COVID 5.0 or something. Okay, just wait. Someone is waiting. Next, it will provide basically a common language for all the stakeholders to be on the same plane. So, what does this mean? That say, if you are following a particular standard, so this COVID standard, so you understand that what is happening in the organization is there will be uniformity. Okay, otherwise, if we don't follow any standards, you don't understand what is happening in your company. So then that's a problem, right? Then it may suffer to some project failure if you don't have proper understanding. That is why. And last is the complies completely with the COSO requirement for IT controls. Now this COSO again we studied in the last chapter again. Okay. Now let's move. This where that's the benefits of it. So whatever I mentioned, like it's like about the COVID only, basically set of best practices and governance framework. So it's also mentioned here, same thing. So now these are the five principles for COVID. Just wait, someone is. So these were the five principles for COVID. So first is the meeting the stakeholders, stakeholder needs. So first we should find out what are the needs of the stakeholders, what are they looking for. Okay, stakeholder and shareholders are a bit different. There is a difference between stakeholders and shareholders. Stakeholders can be some person who have some interest in the company. Okay, so that they are known as the stakeholders. Even the shareholders may be called the stakeholders. Okay, so also once you find out what are their needs, what are their requirements, you need to find out. But how? You will hold a meeting with the stakeholders. Next, you will cover all the enterprise end to end. So you will have to cover all the policies like from end to end, like from a different person from the management level to the lower level. You have to cover the enterprise, everything, policies and everything, and then applying a single integrated framework. So you have to take a proper framework. You will get which framework you will go for. So I just we have studied about the framework is something which we have in a structured logical manner, a policy which is followed in a, so that kind of framework we have to apply so that uniformity is maintained, and then enabling a holistic approach. Then holistic approach, so after that we'll move to a proper approach. Like once we are done, then principle we have taken one framework, then we can have everyone will follow a same approach. And last we'll separate the governance from management. So from the very first chapter we know that governance and management are two different things. right? So we'll like in this last step, we'll go for the separation of the governance from management. So these are the five principles of COVID. Okay, and the last one now we'll discuss about the policies, life cycle policies of COVID. So you can see there are phases are there. Okay, okay, solid production. Okay, so you can find out there are six phases as is maintained that planning phase, designing phase, implement, operate, evaluate, dispose, and update. So what is this planning phase? So when we are going for like FDLC also there were seven phases. I think software engineering. Most of you have remembered this. Like we have requirement gathering and analysis, feasibility study, system design. Yes, I'm just telling you the names. System design, then we have the coding or implementation part, then we have the testing, and last is the maintenance. And similarly, in this life cycle policies also, life cycle of policies also we have some around six phases. The first is the planning, then designing, implement, operate, then evaluate, dispose, and update. Now, this in this planning phase basically means that it will create the IT policy framework. Okay, so or basically the organization will they need to think about while taking the goals and the needs of the various stakeholders. So just now I discussed about here in the first principle of COVID, we meeting the stakeholder needs. So this part requires the first planning phase. So this part falls under this. That in this part only we will create a policy framework where we will find out the various needs of the stakeholders, why we are developing, why we are going this one particular framework. So what are the needs? So in this case we are like in this phase we hardly go for the COVID standards, but we should like generally have basically a set of principles that we will need to think about here. Okay, we put it here. Next is the design phase. So in this design phase, because this will basically involve this design phase will basically involve two types of activities: priority setup and the policy structure definition. Now, as a first is what is priority setup? Priority setup. So basically, here it means designing means what are the things will are required most. What is important now? That is prioritization of the policies will be done here. Okay, what are the policies, what are the set of rules that needs to be covered, what are the like which needs to be covered first. Our prioritization is done in this phase, that is the priority setup phase. Now next phase is as a not the next phase, but in the designing only I told you there are two goals. Okay, two main activities are there. First is a priority setters and second is the policy structure definition. So this policy structure definition, so if you think about like definition means we need to write some policies or something, it's not so, it's not involved, does not involve writing. Okay, it will means it may include like three things. First, like we should come up with a new policy, maybe a policy draft, and then policy review of the policies that you have done the prioritization, and last is you need to approve and communicate from the senior management. See, you have the authority to only what is your job to make the designers what have they design the diagrams and they need to get it approved from their senior level, right? Similarly here also in this designer part, once you like reviewed the policy and according to you think yeah it's okay, then you need to get it approved from the management. So what does this design phase basically this priority structure documentation like I mentioned, it will include it includes the three activities. So coming up with a policy draft, policy review, and communicate and distribute the policy. So as I said, like in basically individuals like the researching team, they will go for the policy draft, right? And then the someone testing, suppose you students are there, whenever you go for a project you accordingly you build your project, right? You think of it, okay, some you have some idea, and then you document it and then you show your guides. Okay, so that is the thing, you can think of the review team or you can sit for presentation. where they review the project you have done, the draft, that is the synopsis you have done. And once it is okay, then only we go for the finalization. Okay, so you can see similarly think this is the policy structure document. Okay, next we have the implementation. So obviously implementation, whatever we whatever we have decided in the design phase, whatever the rules and policies we have design phase will be now converted into the daily activities. Like in our software engineering project, what we do, whatever the design diagrams we do, then we need to code it, we convert that design into the source code. So similarly here also in implement phase also, whatever things we have planned in the design activity will now converted into the daily activities, and so that we can comply with the regular governance. And next is the operate. So basically in this step, the organization uh, will think about the institute, whether they can regulate the policies you have implemented or not. So whether they can the policies you planned that had implemented, can it be regularized or not? Okay, can be it can be bring into practice or not? Okay, institutionalized. Okay, so we can do this. And the next we have the evaluate one. Like after we have used it and we go for like the testing part also. So here also you have done with the project, you have done with your policies, you have implemented it, and you have like also practiced it, whether you have used it, and now you have to evaluate. So once we have the prototype model also, because we get the best idea when we use the system, right? Then only we are able to detect the flaws and bugs. So then only once we like use the system, then we are able to detect the bugs in the system, whether where it is not working properly, so whether it should be used or not, it will in the long run. So we in that, for that purpose, we'll go for the evaluation. So what well basically the all the like the efficacy, efficiency of the policy will be evaluated in this step. Okay, and we should also because once that's why only when we use any prototype also we understand, once we uh, use the system, then only we have the idea like how much success it is, like whether it can be given to the for commercial use, that is. And here they will think like whether this system can be available for use to the stakeholders. So this step is very we have to, when implementing is not important, we have to go for like checking the software, like whether it's like working properly, and if it is not working properly, in which step it is not working properly. So that is why for this testing part also, this evaluation, we have an entire team in an organization. Any organization, they keep separate teams just to test the system from every perspective possible. And last is the update or the dispose phase. Okay, so like based on the evaluation, this dispose, because this phase, this update phase will strictly depend on evaluate. So it will depend now, if there's like whatever things you have implemented, whatever policies you have implemented, if it works okay, okay, then or like we need to add more features, add more policies, that can we can go for update. And if it is, you may think no, too much bugs are here, we cannot carry on with this policy, then it's better to dispose the system. You can just think of like a prototype model. So in prototype, what we do, we you system is developed to a system is developed and given to the users to review it, and based on their reviews, now the like developers will modify it, right? The developers, like if they have like complete if the client wants completely different project, so then what will they do? They will throw away the prototype, they will create once more. Or if no, like they're okay with the model, they're okay with the system that they have developed, and they want more features, they will just work on it and they will finalize that product only. Similarly, in that way, we know this update and dispose phase will basically work on this evaluation phase. So it totally depends on the evaluation phase. So it also has two important goals like the design phase. Here also we have two important goals. First is maintain the efficiency of the policy. Okay, and the second is to adjust the phases to improve the policy's maturity. Okay, so obviously, just I mentioned the update phase, like after every time it needs to be updated. So it should have some scope to update itself. So that is why the phases should be able to adjust. Okay, like we have different. See, you can compare the subjects with software engineering. If you just little bit also, if you remember from software engineering, then you can just able to relate the subject to it. Okay, so that is why in the various phases also, like we have in software engineering, we have various models. I hope you people just try to remember that spiral models are there, like waterfall models are there. So here also we have various phases. So here in various phases we will try to able to adjust, like if there is any maturity or new improvement is need to be made. So they should provide a scope for that maturity. And also it should be like while doing so it should able to maintain its efficiency too. It's not that it should reduce its efficiency, because it's a policy framework is, if it's like efficiencies are reduced, then who will suffer ultimately? The organization, because these things are related. We create the policies, just we discussed, because to have a uniformity in the organization, so that anyone from external some external person to inside anyone inside the organization understand the policies and everything. So policies are in that case very very important, right? So basically it will be reviewed, and these policies are generally reviewed. These policy life cycles are generally reviewed in like annually every year. Okay, because what you built last year may not, it may like change in the next year too. So that needs to be reviewed every year, annually. Okay, who does this? Anyone, right? From the like senior level managers, they will create a team for the review of the policies, whether the policies they created match with the existing requirements of the organization or not. So this was all about the policy life cycles of life cycle of policies. Okay? So any confusion till this part? See, I have not included. I have just included few things on my own in the slide. Okay, you will get this in the SLM also, and you have to go through the SLM. I'm trying to cover each part from the policy and everything. I have not described anything, because I have like understood the thing, and whatever I understood, I just explained it to you people. So you have to go through it. Okay, let's see what kind of questions are there. So can anyone answer what is a building block for good governance and management of IT? It's a policy, production, planning, what? Putrefaction, vacation. What is this one? Can anyone can answer? What do you think?
Planning.
Planning or policy? Is the policy, right? Good governance, it should have some policy. Next, what is the governance process for directing and controlling usage of IT? It's very easy one. See, what is there? Controlling, and we have just discussed today that COVID works on control rather than on execution. So it will be COVID, of course. This one, expand the acronym for COVID.
MC.
Yes, it is C. Control objective for information and related technology. So this was all about I want to discuss today. So next class I'll discuss something the category policies and everything. So any question? No question? That's a good thing, yeah. No question only. People understood everything. Okay, just let me take the attendance. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Let's meet tomorrow then.